Hey internet friends! Today in Batnips Kitchen I'm going to teach you the basics of how to make the tomato sauce. It goes really good on a lot of things. I want to show you the basics of how to do it. It's super simple, anyone can do it.
First thing that you want to do is chop up your onions. You want to do a fine chop on it, make sure they're skinned. I'm using red onions here. You could use yellow or white or whatever you prefer. It's all about your taste. I only had red onions in the house, so that's what I'm using. Moving along to the garlic, you want to grab a couple cloves, and there's a couple easy ways to do this. One of my favorites is to take the knife and just smoosh it, and then you could peel all the stuff right off it, and then you could dice it up really fine really quickly. Or if you want whole garlic cloves, that's another easy way to break open and get the flavor. And of course, don't forget to finely chop a couple of them. Now that the veggies are sorted, we're going to move on to the meat. You want to throw a little bit of oil in your pan to brown your ground beef. I actually use a mixture of ground beef with ground Italian sausage in it because it gives a little bit more flavor. The more meats you add, the more flavorful the sauce will be. If you want to use whole Italian sausage, that's fine too. The awesome thing about the sauce is pretty much any kind of meat that you throw in there is going to give it a lot more flavor. And the more flavorful, the better it is. It's also very important that you brown your meat in batches and don't overcrowd your pan because then it'll steam it instead of frying it, and you want to get some nice browning on it. Definitely want to have that browning. That browning is very important. Once your meat's all brown and beautiful, you want to scoop and drain. Don't want all that excess grease, but we do want to set that meat aside for a few minutes, and you definitely want to use the same pot for your sauce. Now that the meat is done, we're going to start the sauce. Oil up that pan, or be like me and leave a little bit of the meat grease in there. Add our finely chopped onion and let that sweat for a minute or two. Then add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now we add our finely minced garlic, and we're going to let that sweat until it becomes fragrant. Once it becomes fragrant, it's going to smell so good. Now it's time to use some red wine to deglaze the pan. I'm using a cab. You want to use a full-bodied wine like a Melback or a Cabernet, because more full-bodied wine has more flavor. More flavor means more flavorful sauce. And then after we deglaze, you want to scrape the bottom of the pan, get all those little flavor bits. It's all nothing but flavor on the bottom of that pan right there. Now it's time to add 2 big-ass cans of crushed tomatoes. Mine have crushed tomatoes with a little bit of basil in them. And you also want to add a 1/4 can cup of water. You don't want to overwater because you water down your sauce. Give that a big old stir with your favorite wooden spoon.
Teaspoon of butter, and then all your ground beef back in.
Give that a nice big wooden stir with your wooden spoon.
Basil, lots of basil, lots of oregano, major ram.
Give it another mix.
Just a little bit. Crushed red pepper. And salt.
Don't forget the pepper.
Let that simmer. Stir it every so often, and it could be done in as quick as 45 minutes. You can let it be between 45 minutes to 5 hours. The longer you let it simmer, the more flavor it will get. But if you want it fast, within 45 minutes it'll be done. By the time that you're done boiling pasta, you can pour it straight over that. So while we're waiting 45 minutes, grab your favorite Batnips glass, chug a beer.
Now we're going to start the baked Mostaccioli. Start boiling your pasta now.
So add a 1/2 cup of pasta water. It adds a lot of starch and amazingness.
Now put the lid back on while you do the pasta stuff.
So now I got some fresh pasta made. I'm gonna dump the sauce. You tasting it? It's really good. It's really rich and absorbed all the meat flavors. There's no such thing as under-sauced pasta. You take 1 bag of this and mix it up in here, and then we're gonna take another bag.
That's 1 bag mozzarella and 1 bag Parmesan cheese. Make sure you mix the first bag up into the pasta and the sauce really well, otherwise you're just going to get an overabundance of cheese stuck on top. So make sure you mix everything together really nicely. And go absolutely crazy on the second bag. Make sure no piece of pasta is untouched from the top. And don't forget to season the top with salt and pepper.
We put it in the oven at 400 degrees and let it get all bubbly. See, that's all bubbly and baked. Perfect. It came out really good. This is from the basic pasta red sauce. And then we turned it into baked Mostaccioli. It only took 20 minutes. It's really good though. The added butter in the sauce makes it really rich. The two different kind of meat flavors with the Italian sausage ground up and the ground beef give it a really full, rich flavor. And the longer you let it simmer, the thicker it'll be and more flavorful. It's cheaper than the jar sauce that's really bland. The basil and the marjoram and the oregano really come through, and it's really simple. It's really good. I highly recommend it. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Cheers, guys.